Well, hello. It's been a while. Let's just wait and see if the people come to join me. I don't mind flying solo, but if there's some of you around, let's give you a minute to jump on. Right, what do I want to say? Okay, let's go. So the reason I'm jumping on live is often when I get these little flashes of inspiration, I will do a podcast these days. I don't tend to do a lot of live streams unless it's in my kind of my pre-planned free events or my paid containers, right? But for some reason today I just felt like I wanted to come on live, so here I am. As is the life of a Manny Jen. That feels fun. Okay, I'll do it that way. So say hi if you're watching live on the replay. You know, I like to know who is watching, who I'm playing with. So I just had something on my heart and I wanted to speak it into the space because part of Lunar Vortex is the VIP section, and it's like a small group of people. There's still space in there, but it's not currently for sale. I'm opening the doors again kind of towards the end of February. But it's currently, like, doors are closed at the moment. But I was just doing the Ask a Mystic Monday, which is 2 Mondays out of the month. I give people the opportunity in the VIP section to ask me any question about anything in their life, and I will channel wisdom for them. And this is not basic bitch, like, oh, you know, like a little bit of a tight message. Like today, my messages were like 9 and 12 minutes long. Like, you get your own podcast effectively with lots of hints, tips, all sorts of stuff. We've talked about human design today. We've talked about energy work today. We've talked about just lots of things in the messages that I left people today. And they were such juicy questions and such juicy responses that I felt just like my sacral was just like so brimming with extra energy that my throat was like, there's more to say to the people. Tell the people the things. So the main thing I wanted to come on and say is actually really simple, which is I know that for me, feeling my resistance or pain points or shadowy triggered stuff, naturally now I use that as a portal to my expansion. That's just natural for me now. It's not something I have to think about. Sometimes it will take me a minute to catch the trigger and I'll be like, oh fuck, bitch was triggered. Okay, let's take that and meditate with it. Let's take that and tap on it. Let's take that and journal on it. And I've done, you know, like now over a decade of work on this stuff. So for me, it's very second nature to take a trigger, take a shadow, take a point of resistance. And even more than that, because I've been doing it such a long time, I'm able to spot very subtle shifts in my energetic body. And again, this isn't something you can just switch on. This is something that takes time. And so I'm aware that there may be people in this space who are like, well, yeah, that's okay for you, Georgina. You know, like, robot girl. But I'm not a robot. I swear I am human. I do feel things. But it's today when I was answering one of the questions in the Lunar Vortex VIP, I realised that there's still a huge fucking amount of people on this planet who don't realise that there are tools that you can use to help you navigate the painful shit so that your life doesn't feel like an uphill struggle. And I think because it's so obvious to me now, like it's my life, that if some resistance comes up, I know instinctively, intuitively which tool to use. And yes, I have the tools in my toolkit because I've studied them, etc. However, the way that I work with clients now, yes, we do a lot of energy work, and in spaces like the Ripple, for example, which I'm relaunching in March, we really go into, it's fucking advanced work that we do in there, but it's advanced because of how simple it is. Because yes, I know not everyone can work with me one-to-one. I don't have the capacity to take everyone on one-to-one, and not everyone is in a position to do that, right? I get that. And the the pressure in my heart to like fulfill this mission of creating spaces where people can have access to the magic that I can proliferate and that I can create and that I can, you know, facilitate, is like there's this pressure in my body now to like get this magic more and more out into the world. And it is the kind of, you know, teach a man to fish, right? I don't just want to be doing the work for everybody because I physically can't, but also because life is going to be life be life in, right? Life is going to keep happening. You're going to keep tripping over things, getting smacked in the face. Things are going to keep happening. But what I've noticed is there's been quite an uptick in people feeling resistance and allowing that resistance to stop them, allowing that resistance to feel like, oh, it's not in alignment, right? People are using this expansive, delicious, grounded, yummy concept of alignment. People have started taking it as a fucking excuse to not do what they're meant to be doing on the planet. Have you noticed this? Have you done it yourself? Have I caught you? Have I caught you in a lie to yourself? Where we go, I can't, it's just not aligned. It doesn't feel good in my system. And it's like, well, not everything's going to feel good all the time. And that's just the truth. Not everything is going to feel good all the time. But if you really want to create something magical for yourself in this lifetime, it's not about avoiding pain or struggle or hard work or like putting the work in or whatever. It's not about avoiding that. It's about feeling really good while you're doing it and understanding that resistance is just like everything else. It's a message. It's a signal from a part of yourself that needs some attention. Sometimes the resistance in the body is a very clear, no, this is not what I should be doing. But it's about learning through time, through practice, through having a clean mirror, like someone like myself reflect back to you sometimes, like, this just feels like a no for you. Like, this is a no, right? Versus like, there's some resistance here. And the only reason I've got so good at knowing my own inner authority is because I've been practicing this shit. I've got it wrong, I've got it right, and then tried to reverse engineer it and do it again and then got it wrong. Like, it's just the art of surrendering over and over again to the great mysterious plan that is this universe and its wisdom. It's a life's work for me and I fucking love it, and it's what I've chosen. And it's what I want to help other people fall in love with as well. Because it's really about, you know, enjoying your life is not just all self-care, getting your nails done, having your hair done, going for a massage. It's about understanding, how can I move through life and its challenges without losing connection to what I know is meant for me in this lifetime? How can I have a desire, feel all of the resistance, the scarcity, the unworthiness, all the crap that comes with a desire. Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes when you activate a desire in your system. A lot of other stuff happens at the same time, which I'm not going to go into now because that's going to be part of my free event in February. But just safe to say, when you have a desire, it's not a clean frequency of desire. How many times have you had the frequency of desire and be like, oh, I really want that, and then immediately all of the reasons why you can't, how much hard work it's going to be, like, you're not worthy, you're not ready, you're not good enough, someone else has already done it, you haven't got the time, you haven't got the resources, whatever, right? All of the resistance comes up with the desire. So imagine how much easier and more enjoyable your life would be if you just got to see all these things as a puzzle. Like, when the desire comes and all the resistance comes with it, what if you felt like the resistance was like, woo! And anyone in here who's worked with me in close proximity will tell you, when they get sick, when they have resistance, when they get triggered, they bring it to the space, and initially they can feel like it's, oh, this thing's happened and it's a bad thing. And my initial reaction is like, ooh, yay, we've got a trigger. Let's find out why. Let's find out what you expanded into that you've never expanded into before, and it's poked a part of you that's gone, huh, oh shit, she's growing. I don't feel comfortable. I feel vulnerable. I feel afraid. You know, it's this beautiful, rich journey that we get to go on when we understand that those resistance or pain points are just they're just a point of contrast to help us get back into our alignment. And really, this idea that you have to have a perfectly calm, smooth, regulated nervous system all the time, otherwise you're doing something wrong. To me, that's complete bullshit. Your nervous system is created in a way that to help you handle stress, right? So it's okay if you feel stressed sometimes, but it's like, what are you going to do about that? How long are you going to let yourself remain stressed? You know, how much stress can your nervous system handle before you just fucking short circuit and you can't do anything and you're freaking out and you're overwhelmed? Everything grows through applying resistance. Your muscles grow through applying resistance. Your business grows when you allow yourself to feel the resistance of like increased responsibility for more people, increase like, oh shit, I've got more money coming in, oh shit, more people want my attention, oh shit, more people are seeing me now, holy crap, that means more people could reject me or abandon me now, right? There's so much. There's so many layers to growth. It's not all going to be smooth sailing. So for me, there's a lot of talk about nervous system stuff, and I'm learning more, and I'm playing with understanding mine and regulating mine, and it's just so incredibly satisfying and beautiful when you start playing in the realm of nervous system work. I mean, I've been doing it all along really, but now I'm just doing it with more intentionality, more presence, and more education behind it. But the nervous system is created to respond to stimuli, right? It's there to protect you. It's there to, it's a messenger. It's like reacting to what's happening. So it should sometimes feel heightened if something is triggering a response, that there's danger. Like, it should do that. If you were just like, one of the things, one of the questions in the EFT training that I run is like, if I keep tapping on all of my fears and resolving all of my fears and my phobias, am I going to lose my natural fear responses and do something stupid like jump off a bridge or walk into traffic because I'm just not afraid of anything anymore? No, because your nervous system is beautifully created to make sure that you don't do things like that. It understands danger. The problem is, it's currently, if you haven't been doing any work with it, or not, you know, a progressive amount of work with it, it's going to feel a little bit like everything is scary at sometimes, right? Everything feels scary when you're in a heightened state in your system. You're not going to be able to sleep properly. You're probably not going to be able to eat properly, or maybe you're overeating and you're emotional eating. All of this stuff is the body trying to soothe the discomfort that it's feeling. So our ability to expand our capacity to hold more discomfort and allow the body to feel safe with that increased resistance, that's what's going to allow us to expand and not burn the fuck out. So is this landing? Let me see. I don't seem to have any comments, but sometimes it's just because Facebook doesn't ping them up until after. Here we go. They're popping in now. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Eloise. Elizabeth. Sarah. Hey, girl. My little fire CF sister. So yeah, any questions, any reflections, feel free to share in the comments now that I can actually see them. But that was just what I wanted to share with you. It just felt like this morning answering some questions in Lunar Vortex, Ask a Mystic Monday in the VIP section. It just felt like sometimes I forget that people don't realise that life doesn't have to be this hard. It doesn't have to be an uphill struggle, and it's not about life being like just easy all the time, but it's certainly about life being more enjoyable and pleasurable, and understanding how to use your pain as a portal for your expansion. And I've always been pretty good at doing that for myself, but what I noticed was that the big shift for me over the last, I would say, 18 months has been slowly, gradually, and intentionally increasing my capacity to experience the sensation of discomfort, and to understand that it doesn't mean to stop. It doesn't mean I'm in pain. it means that probably something different is coming. And I talked about this in the Lunar Vortex call a couple of weeks ago on the, is it new moon? I think so. You know, it's this... I just saw, this happens to me when I start reading the comments, like I just lost my train of thought, just completely went. On the last Lunar Vortex call, we talked about the fork in the road, you know, and how I've talked about this on my podcast as well, where you can choose the old pattern of dysregulation and overeating or binge watching TV or having a fight with your partner or not going to the gym or whatever. Or you can feel that discomfort of, I've never done this before though. I've never just kept going before. I've never just kept posting on social media before. I've never just kept selling before. I've never just kept speaking my truth before. Oh my God, why are there balloons? What just happened? What was that? Oh my God, that was so good. I'm such a child. Oh, balloons. Fucking hell. Did you guys see that as well, or have I actually lost the plot now? My marbles officially left the building. There were balloons, right? Yeah, balloons. God, this is what it's like. I get very excited about things. But it's so fascinating to me that, yeah, as I say, there are just still so many people out there that don't realise like the power of something like matrix reimprinting, EFT, or the other energy work that I do. It's your ability to just let go of something is, you're not really letting go of it if you're just mindsetting it. And this is the thing, if you're just using the mind, if you're just changing your thoughts, you're not really changing anything, and it's going to feel very hard. The shifts happen when you start working at the identity level, when you start working at the cellular level and releasing all of the debris and all the stuff that's clogging you up. It's kind of like, the image I'm getting in my head is, it's like the path ahead is, you know, littered with rocks and pebbles and things. And it's almost like we just go in with the energy work and the, you know, all of the work that we do together, and we just kind of take a sweeping brush and just sweep those rocks out of the way, rather than you getting to a rock and going, oh shit, I don't know what to do. And as I was saying before I got distracted, which of course happens all the time, butterfly brain, what I was saying was, I used to get triggered and then I would allow that trigger to spiral and amplify, and I would get caught in it, and I'd get caught in needing to know why and how and where did it come from and how many processes do I have to do to change this thing about myself. But over time I have learned the art of discernment and refinement, and how less is more when it comes to some clearing work. And it's tracing the energy back to the seed of where it all began, and being able to remove that and plant something different in its place. That's what really creates the difference. And in fact, you don't even have to plant something in its place. It's just when you go in, and you're not even really removing it, let's be honest. What you're doing is you're looking at the seed, you're understanding it from a different perspective, and then what grows from it is different. It's all about changing your perspective, but you can't change your perspective with mindset alone without it taking a long fucking time. And I am so deeply committed, even more so than ever before, to help people minimize, like reduce the amount of time between the trigger and then the understanding and the moving forward. Because that's all it really is. I've been triggered, I want to understand it, diffuse it, get the wisdom from it so that I can move forward without feeling uncomfortable or feeling the pain anymore. And this is it with mindset work. It's like mindset kind of teaches you that feel the fear and do it anyway. Whereas with my work, it's like feel the fear, understand the fear, dissolve the fear, don't feel it anymore, and do the thing without feeling afraid and in a heightened state in your nervous system. Do you know what I mean? So for me, yes, feel the fear because it's there, and be with it and experience it. And you don't have to push through anything. Once you learn how to work with your emotions and with your nervous system, you don't have to push or force yourself to do anything, because you have that like switch in your brain that goes, oh, I'm in resistance. Oh, there's something in my way. Let me just drop into it. Let me feel it. Let me alchemize it through my body, because my body is the conduit through which I receive and transmute energy. And if you're trying to do it anywhere else outside of you, it's not going to work. It might work for a bit. You create this vision, this external vision that you live into, but like, what about your internal state? If you haven't upgraded your internal system along the way, which is why the journey is so fucking important, and why the journey is where the change happens, and why the smaller steps are actually what create the biggest results and the massive quantum leaps that we all seem to be craving. The quantum leap is really fucking hard on your nervous system if you haven't at least received some nourishment and some energetic and identity upgrades along the way, along the journey. We all want the destination, but so many people are not willing to do the minute by minute, day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath tweaking of their internal kind of environment, their internal thermostat, to actually allow them to get to the end goal and feel regulated and feel satisfied. We want the end goal because we want to feel successful, satisfied, at peace, right? It's surprised, delighted. We want all of these things. That's why we want the end result. But you don't receive that sensation from the result if you haven't allowed yourself to kind of naturally calibrate on the way there. And there's no ABC way to do that other than just learning how your system works. The way that, you know, I feel on a journey is probably going to be different to how each of you will feel if you are on the same journey, but the similarities are in the techniques of how we calibrate on our way there. So it's not about everyone has the same sensations, like, oh, this challenge comes up, so we all are going to feel this way. No, everyone's going to feel different about even the same challenge being presented to them. But it's about how you then use that challenge as a portal. Like I said earlier, using your pain or your resistance as a portal for your expansion is what's going to help you calibrate yourself, calibrate your system, receive the nutrients that you need, receive the information and the wisdom that you need. That if you keep holding those uncomfortable sensations at bay, you're holding so much wisdom at bay. When you let yourself integrate them and alchemize and transmute that energy through your physical body and your energetic system, you're like a fucking superhero. It's like there's nothing you can't do. It's like you've got fucking fireballs, like, let's go. Because you've received the energy that you are holding over here. This is just energy. This thing you don't want to feel is just energy. It's not going to hurt you. It's a thought. It's a memory. It's a sensation. When you let yourself confront it, feel it, and be with it, it nourishes you from the inside. It feeds you. And in that, it gives you information that you wouldn't otherwise have. And it also gives you energy. Like, you think that your fear, your anger, your disappointment, your grief, your rage, your sadness, your sense of failure or whatever, you think holding that over there is it's like a necessary part of your success, or like getting you where you want to go. No, it's backwards. We're in the upside down. Like, that's not correct. This emoji. The truth is, this thing over here is the thing you most need to integrate. Because it's energy. And why would you want to, if energy is a part of what you know, so many people say to me, I'm so tired, or, you know, like, I'm tired all the time. I can't even imagine bringing my dreams to life because I haven't got the energy to even do what I'm already doing on a daily basis. I already haven't got enough energy to complete the daily tasks that I need to get done. How on earth am I meant to start my art business, or, you know, become a better coach, or get new clients? Like, how am I going to do any of this stuff? How am I going to write my book, or do my, you know, create a whole new series of paintings in a completely different style that I want to try? How am I going to do any of those things? I haven't even got the time to do X, Y, and Z that I need to do on a daily basis. Well, because you're not really fully resourced. You've got all of these pockets of energy locked up in past trauma or memories that you don't want to look at, parts like even just like personality traits that you don't want to truly admit that you have. Whereas when you start, and I'm not saying you should just like suck them all in at once, it's not possible. Your system would just like, it wouldn't allow it. But what will happen is, as you dedicate yourself to the kind of practices that I'm now working with my clients, when you start to move forward and integrate these practices, naturally what happens is, oh, well, look, it's like a little bubble. We'll just go, look at this trigger. One came up for me last night. And it was so great because, I know I'm so twisted. Woo, I got so triggered last night. Yeah. And it was something really small actually. And it's something that I acknowledged in the moment, like, oh yeah, that feels like I had this little spike in my system. I was like, whoo, okay, that didn't feel good. And then I sat with it, immediately sat with it. There was not a lot of time that passed before I went, okay, I need to do this. And we were watching Dragon's Den, my boyfriend and I just kind of like zoned out of Dragon's Den. And I started just being like, yeah, this feels very uncomfortable. This feels like rejection. It feels like I could almost feel and see this inner child version of myself being like, no, why don't you love me? What did I do wrong? Why don't you love me? And it was like, ah, yes, I see you. I see and feel, and I can have this awareness of the part of me that is wanting to take over. But there was more of the grounded, adult, regulated me to witness that part of me and be able to just bring her in and be like, you're safe. You're not being abandoned. You're not being abandoned. You're so loved. And I got to just hold that part of myself in that moment. It took 2-3 minutes max for me to get to a point of just being from a little spike in my system to go, oh, to noticing, to drawing her back in, to, you know, reintegrating that part of myself, letting her know she's safe. And knowing that probably at some point when I feel the sacral urge to do it, I will go in and I'll do some matrix re-imprinting with her and actually see what is really going on. Because the pattern of rejection is quite big for me, and I definitely hold myself back in business and friendships and everything because I'm so, the sensation of rejection in my body feels like heartbreak. It feels just absolutely, I mean, my system just doesn't even know what to do with it. So that's why I still got the spike. And I was like, oh, how beautiful. Did you see the clarity? It was not, oh fuck, I'm triggered. Okay, and now I'm going to act out and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I've got to try and fix it and but it was just like spike, draw it back in, integrate, love it, I'm safe. Maybe there's some deeper work to do there. So what this work that I'm doing now with the nervous system and with meditation and all this good stuff, through simplifying my practice, but therefore deepening my practice, it's allowing me to have so much clear sight about where do I go next? What part of my psyche or my conditioning, my programming, my limiting programming, the conditioning of the mind has been triggered? Like, which part of me now do I get to understand, integrate, alchemize, heal, and like kind of, you know, completely transmute that energy so that I can move forward into my next level of expansion. So I don't see that little spike that I had last night of like adrenaline, like, or cortisol or whatever, you know, that little spike in that moment that I saw something, I was like, fuck, excuse me, but it was so quick. The alchemy happens in minutes. And again, it doesn't mean that there isn't deeper work to be done there, but we can get into this kind of mindset with this healing work of being like, I just don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. There's so much I want to change. But when we start to simplify and discern and deepen our connection with ourselves, surrender to life's infinite intelligence that is always flowing through us, when we just tap back into that life force energy inside of us and we let that be the truth that guides us, it will naturally, the world is a fucking mirror. Life is naturally going to go, oh look, here's a thing that you need to look at. Cooey! Better do some work there. And the more that I allow life to be a mirror, it will reflect the most beautiful things. I've always been someone who struggled with the concept of belonging. right? That has been a big core wound for me for a long time. And I've been doing my work with it, using my practices on it, and I've had some of the most beautiful and profound experiences of belonging over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Huge shifts. So remember that the pain point is the portal to your expansion. And if you want to deepen that, you know where I am. I'm your gal. I am going to be running a free online event in February, so keep your eyes peeled for that, because we're going to talk about this much more. If you already know, I wasn't actually gonna do this, but it's coming through, so let's go. If you already know that this is the work you want to start deepening, the place to start is the ripple. The ripple is 6 people max, 6 weeks, 6 calls. It is very up close and personal. We had the most incredible results and most powerful, just beautiful soul connections in the last round. And the next round is going to start on the 10th of March. So if you are feeling that fire in your bloody belly, that fire in your soul of like, this is the work I need to be doing, and this is the bitch I want to help me with it, then reach out and we can get you signed up already. I mean, as I say, there's only going to be 6 spots available maximum, because this is very deep work, and I want to ensure that you get the focus, the attention, the energy that you need in order to really feel like this work is integrated so that you can move it forward in your life. This isn't like me gatekeeping the secrets. This is me spilling the secrets. This is me showing you in real time, and you have support in a Telegram group chat as well. So it actually means that at any time in between the calls, you can be like, oh my God, a trigger's come up, Georgina, what do I do? And then we get to work the work in real time. It's so fucking cool. Such a beautiful container. I love it. That's why I'm rerunning it. I don't rerun stuff a lot, but this is just so beautiful, and it felt so perfectly formed in the way I'd structured what I teach you and how we do the clearing work, that I'm like, fuck it, this has to happen again. This is becoming like so fundamental, and like my core teachings around how we begin to expand and manifest and evolve without completely fucking our system. And growth can be rapid without completely blitzing your nervous system. But that's why you would come and work with someone like me who has a level of mastery with this stuff, right? And I'm going to openly claim that, because your girl's been working at it for a long fucking time. So come and play in the ripple if you want to. Just drop me a message and we can get you some more information, get you signed up, and just like, let's fly. Because if you know this is for you, you feel it. Yeah. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. This was really fun. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do more live streams. Have you missed me? And I will see you on the flip side. Bye.